The treacherous Azrai, hiding in the camp to the south of Kasabar, would soon learn of the unending fury of His Majesty Settra, the Imperishable, the King of Kings, High King of Nehekara, Himrikara, Lord of the Earth, Monarch of the Sky, Ruler of the Four Horizons, Mighty Lion of the Infinite Desert, Great Hawk of the Heavens. In their heretic pursuit to cleanse their magical forests of outsiders, they've attacked and claimed Antak. Our legions fought furiously, slaughtering many of the frail elves of the forest. But ultimately the defenders were defeated by the overwhelming numbers. Retribution was already thundering across the Gulf of Metis, and a great many of Orion's followers would die for this insult. Aside from this incursion, the kingdom was flourishing, with only the Great Mortis Delta and Labaris remaining outside of our control. Settra putting an end to the other factions vying for power in Greater Nehekara, the famished ogres, the Greybeards prospectors hiding in the mountains, and the undead followers of hated Nagash, all consigned to oblivion. Most of the Great Pyramids of old had already been rebuilt, and in an effort to increase the speed of reconstruction, Settra instructed the Lich Priests to perform the great incantation of Geheb, to imbue his workers and soldiers with the God of Strength power. Before thundering out across the Gulf, Settra made sure Sehenesmet and Nekaph were both given orders to marshal their forces on the border of the Black Pyramid and await further instructions. And welcome on back to the next chapter in our story. We are going to begin things off by defending against Antak and then moving on Orion's camp. All we have to do is eliminate this one army, and then it is a short ride to either subjugate or destroy the Bowmen of Orion. We are going to want to do so quickly, because if we can either subjugate them or at least get them to where they're willing to sign a peace treaty, Blakwa is going to at least start moving upwards instead of deteriorating. If they keep deteriorating, chances are they are going to attack us, especially since I believe at current we are seen as a... I have to go into actual diplomacy. We are seen as a dominant threat, which is going to cause lots of more Empire-building factions to turn against us. That, and we are currently trading with only the Disciples of the Maw, who are at war with most of the Order factions at the moment, so that is going to not make us any new friends. Luckily, our reliability is moving up slowly, so that aversion debuff is going to also start ticking down. We did pop the Great Incantation of Geheb, so we're going to have some extra economic jars, growth, and construction decrease for all of our buildings. Tomb Swarm is nice, but we already have some, so it is going to be neither here nor there. So we're going to see what they're able to do. I tried my best to defend Antak, but it was just an overwhelming swarm of sky blankets. We got brought down. Still a good number of them, but they're already recruiting up more. Hopefully Sehenesmet can move back over. If we can defeat them quickly, we can have Sehenesmet and King Nekaph work together to bring down the Black Pyramid of Nagash. We need to claim this for ourselves sooner rather than later because this vampiric corruption needs to go. The Wa succeeds the Broken Axe tribe. Can we see what they managed to claim? The answer to that question is a hearty no. Like Be'lakor has already landed in the Empire, they have a lot to deal with. Berekt is back. Let's keep exploring with Senuferet. Marienburg has already fallen under Karl Franz's control, which is good for him, because this is going to be a very, very potent port city. Make him lots of money. That Marienburg harbor there. So Senuferet will keep exploring. He is on his journey of a lifetime. So they're going to try to split our focus here. So Dotain is moving back to try to worry about the Orion's camp. See if we can assassinate. Ooh, not that way, dude. Try to assassinate this Waystalker here. Critical success. Hold on. Eliminate the Fool, and we'll see if Settra can't catch Findle here, who is not in March stance, so he's going to be able to retreat. That is a little bit annoying. Our defenses at the Plain of Tuskers actually may be able to hold back just a single army. They have chariots. They have a single chariot. Apologies, we were interrupted by the small cat Mochi deciding she needed to crawl up onto the lap. She's sitting here now as long as she can be good, and we will continue our story. So let's chase down Findle. We'll do what we can to entomb them. Guaranteed they're going to run because they are cowards. It may be a bit much, but it'd be cool to allow Settra to have an ability where he's able to chase fools, kind of how the same way Valkia is. So if someone runs from Settra, we could chase them down. I think a good idea is going to be to... We don't want to trespass on Tlaqua. Making sure he is unable to continue his pursuit is probably not a bad idea. Tough call. They are trying to split my attention here because they know it one at a time. Their forces would be crushed. Yeah, let's try to defend the plane of Tuskers. I don't think he could get past the other way, so we'll move over to this direction. And if we can catch him, that'd be key.
Open the casket of souls.
Force Hennesmet, we'll keep him moving. We'll have him set up in the Black Tower and prepare to attack once they are weakened. King Nekaph is putting in some Stalkers and some Necroserpents for the moment, just so he has a bit stronger of a cavalry force. We're 100% spending our gold on upgrading Kimri to a Necropolis, maxing out our first town. And then Karak is back over here, so let's have him come on and explore the north. Just keep an eye on what's going on with Sartosa. Once we have enough Canopic Jars, actually we just need the gold now. Now that we have enough Canopic Jars, we just need to gain 9,000 gold, and we can awaken a new dynasty before we are able to, over here with the Wisdom of the Sixth. So that is going to be very important. The turn falls to us, and the cowards have once again split their forces. They could very easily choose to attack
Not possible.
Bagar with both armies.
Not possible.
Ugh. Fighting against Wood Elves. They don't even play normal. We're going to charge in here on Ontok, and we're just going to claim the town. They should put up absolutely no defense. This belongs to us, and hopefully it convinces them that attacking Bagar would be a mistake, since we would be able to attack them immediately. Storm of Necromancy kicks off.
Futile.
We'll see. They do have the opportunity to claim Bagar, and that would be a pain, because we have the Pyramid, as well as these gemstone mines over here. So for Ontok, we will throw in the money building and upgrade for now. We need 9,000 gold to gain another army, though. We need to keep that in mind. Nekaph is ready to go. We'll bring him over to the bridge and bring his Tomb Prince over to assist as well. We're about ready to engage the Black Pyramid of Nagash as Settra chases around the pesky Wood Elves. Go ahead and grab Desert Strike. Increase that ability's capability. Bring him on out and on the border just to prepare. We want to keep an eye on our shores though, because Mad Mulletson is scooting on around. Raiding the ports of Coffer is probably a good idea. We'll wait on that though, because I'd really like to get a new army first, so we want to make sure we have access to that. So if we do some math here, right? We'll be able to do that next turn, no problem. So 3,900. We'll have at least one battle if we can swing it. Yeah, that should work out. All right, let's hope the Wood Elves don't try anything funny. Well, we made it through an interned cycle without getting attacked, but Eternal Servitude has kicked in. The Lich Priests of the Mortuary Cult have left their necropoli in search of servants to aid them in their holy work. The incantations of the preservation must be maintained and furthered. However, not everyone is a suitable candidate for such work. Who can we spare? We can send a few bones and bodies and gain a little bit less miscast chance, or we can send many and get a lot less. We got a good bit of jars stored up, we'll send many. Tree Hammers have been destroyed, very glad we didn't ally up with them. Bloody Hands Wa fails. Now it's time to hopefully hunt down some Wood Elves. Yeah, they've decided to retreat back home. He's setting up some forces to scout. Fair enough. What we're going to do is we're just going to go straight after the camp. I'm going to not waste any time. We'll see if you can't assault the garrison, weaken them just a little bit. Critical failure, he is wounded. Man, that's unfortunate. Just about as bad as it gets. We could go after Doetin, but he would retreat. So we're gonna go straight after Fendel there. Your downfall is now.
Certainly not.
Yeah, they're not really defended by that much. Would give us a Pyrrhic victory. The Glade Guard are obviously deadly, and then these Waystalkers or Way Watchers are going to be hiding in the back and firing from a distance, so as long as we keep our chariots moving and keep them running down archers, we should have no trouble. Let's take a look at the map as what we're fighting on here. So the typical Wood Elf settlement map here, so they're going to have a lot of archers deployed up in this area here and hiding in the forest. We just have to march through and purge it little by little. The battle. The Wood Elf scum look to test their might. We will gladly allow it. We've already claimed back Ontok, and now it is time to take the fight to their home. We have a nice little smattering of chariots. I decided to move the chariots kind of spread out over off to the right, while Settra and the main body force charged up the front lines with the Casket of Souls and Prince Nebathar and the Sphinx. We have Apophis hiding in the trees up in the front, and then Nekaph was leading the chariot charge, as well as a second regiment of soldiers. We've got a blast of Kurnos coming on in to try to do some damage to our chariots. Luckily, is doing some good job missing. Exploding very harmlessly off into the distance. Ooh, the second one connects with the archers, though, which may have been the intended target all along. They receive a blast of apparently musical notes. Apophis charging straight on in. We want to try to tie down as many of these Glade Guard as we can. Keep them from unleashing their long-range death. And most of these guys are Hagbane tips, so they have poison, arrows, and so they will be slowing our troops down, as well as magical attacks, so cutting straight through any resistances that are not magical. First group of Sky Blankets coming on in, very, very accurate. All of them landing on Settra's horse. Doing a fair bit of damage. We want to make sure that we lock those archers down quickly. And they are spread very far throughout the forest here, so got a lot of work to do. Chariots are swinging on in, as well as the Necrosphinx. Front line, keeping them back just for a little bit there, because they will not last long under the withering fire of these arrows. Pull it back on down. Settra's charging on through. Blade Guard aren't going to stand much of a chance against his Chariot of the Gods. And a halo of searing light comes out as well, singeing those that remain. Apophis will have no problem mopping up both of those regiments as Settra keeps moving. We want to make sure he never stops as much as we can. Otherwise, they will bog him down with arrow fire. Casket of Souls shot going in, most of them firing harmlessly into the woods, but a couple of them finding their mark. Chariots have made it on through the middle. They are taking some fire, and the Wood Elves can fire through trees much more effectively than we can. So, again, we want to just get into combat melee with them as fast as we can to make use that these are mostly just flower boys. Run them down. Speed it on up, and we can get a full charge going. Shredding the Azrai asunder. Blade Guard are very lightly armored. So they're going to be taking all that damage. That group already being terrified away in one single charge, both of them actually. Beautiful stuff. Nekaph has smashed on in and dropped his obligatory surrender. It was a bit early, so it only did a little bit of a dink to their overall leadership. Got the other chariot group charging on in the rear, just trying to disrupt these archers. They do have some Eternal Guard in here, so we want to be careful that we're not staying bogged down for too long, because Eternal Guard plus poison arrows is a bad time for our chariots. And this poor guy here who got some friendly fire. They are playing on hardcore. Nice little rain of arrows coming on in. We've got a volley of our own to give the Wood Elves what for. The old ancient Nehekar and Bodkin. So that force is going to be working their way up and disrupting those archers as much as they can. It is mostly a force of archers, so it's very easy for our chariots to run through and disrupt. The Eternal Guard trying their luck against Apophis, who is not even paying them a lick of attention. Stabbing kind of harmlessly at swirling dust and scarabs. We're getting a bit of lag. We'll back away from him a smidge. Give him a swing, brother. We're hanging in here. There he goes. This poor man's had the worst day of his life, and slash. Oh, he didn't take a hit at all. It was just this poor fella. Either way, the Necrosphinx is having a good old time routing off some of the Glade Guard. We want him to be switching targets. But I was also trying to make sure any of these units that were routing stayed routing and didn't come back. We had Settra charging down their lord, but then he started getting a barrage of arrows, so the wrath of Settra approaches. Very scantily clad Waystalkers, or Way Watchers. Y'all better run at more than just a shuffle, because in comes the King of Kings. Rending them asunder. Ooh, did not mean to do that. Hit the hypers fast motion for a moment. Getting some more casts off. Every cast we do with Settra is going to be healing up the boys across the bar, so you can kind of just cast buffs on him more or less constantly. The Eternal Guard are holding their own. They look awesome. Maybe not in these colors, but the normal Athaloran colors of the Sisters of Twilight, their Glade Guard have a nice hue of purple. Got the AI doing their normal thing where if you will, we missed it just by a little bit, but if you attack a barrier and there's enemies behind it, even if they're archers, they will come out in front of the barrier to attack you. I know CA is working on it, but at the moment, if you attack that barrier no matter what, anyone defending it will usually come out into attack. It's very rare that they don't. Got some chariots that are taking a bit of damage, so they're going to try to retreat around the corner and try to break line of sight for a moment. While these other ones, again, there's a whole heap of fellas in here, and we're getting bogged down but just by the sheer amount of blades swinging back. So we're going to want to pull on out what we can and get some more troops in here to reinforce. Yeah, they've got barricades up on both sides. They've got to chop through those quickly before we're able to do much else. Unfortunately. Got the Wicked War Dancers. Slicing their way through. They would be performing very well against our infantry, so we're very glad that they are fighting chariots. It is time now for the King of Kings to be chasing down their lord. Taking some shots point blank, but he's got 4 horses to nom nom on year 1. 1 horse good, 4 horses better. The infantrymen have finally arrived, only to find bloodied and crushed corpses. Both barricades are starting to fall. The first one's down, so we're going to rush those Tomb Guard through as quickly as we can, get them into combat. As our chariots are really going to need the help. They're having a hard time getting out of just the sheer amount of Wood Elf bodies that are in the way. Our chariots did escape, but they're kind of sneaking on back in now, possibly to disrupt these Blade Guards in the back, who are now no longer defended. We're going to send a volley of arrows in ourselves. Show them that they are not the only bow masters around. This arrow curved hit this man in the back of the head. That is a professional bow shot there. Cannot wait till we have access to some better archers here. We are still rolling with just these simple skeleton archers, and we've seen the power of the royal archers. So, that is something we'll probably be prioritizing coming up. We need some better archers rolling around. Yep, those chariots moving on in to secure the rear there. Smash through the guard.
Enemy magic.
Enemy magic, ha. Laugh while you can, fool. Soon you should be nothing but paste. That's going to be a mess. Blade Guard with no support from our Spearmen is going to have no chance in a melee. We will slow things back on down and zoom on back out. This is quite the expansive battle here. Most of the Wood Elf force is broken or tattered, so we can keep moving past and allow our infantry to mop up what's left. They weren't fully braced, so Settra does get to dig in a good deal into this force with the Blade of Tra active, so they will be blinded, making them nigh useless, as well as the Joss incantation, going down to weaken them further. A complete storm of friendly fire coming in for the Ozrai. He is shot in the face and in the crotch by his friend. No longer friends if he can survive this day. We need these chariots to move in and mop up these finishing groups of archers. While meanwhile, the Glade Guard and Eternal Guard are hunted down by our Tomb Guard and Necrosphinx. Lots of guard running around. Those car-sized blades doing good work. Apophis was unfortunately bogged down in the Eternal Guard for the most of the battle, but he does slay his weight in man-flesh.
We are relentless.
Hunted down. This will be a lesson they shall not soon forget. The defeat goes out, their barricades shatter, and we have the victory. Settra chases down Findle. We have to slay their king, wound him at least for now. So many arrows stuck in this poor guy. Ooh, he's gonna get a medal for his valor. And the dogs of Orion stood no chance. They killed a few, but only really their Glade Lord Findle there. We lost 30 total, they lost 1,947. We gained a little bit of gold, some canopic jars, hopefully enough to gain a new... Indeed it is. We will go ahead and sack the settlement. We don't want to destroy the Bowmen, we just want to teach them a lesson. Because they are actually a army of order, so we would like to just teach them the error of their ways so that they may better serve Settra. Move into friendly territory, so we will get some replenishment going. And passing on all those wonderful buffs. For Settra, kind of a tough choice. I think we'll go for Over My Dead Body. Although this just gives him a bit more speed, does it not? Or health, I mean. He is good on health. I say we go for full plate armor, just make him a bit more healthy, and then finish off Desert Strike, making Settra himself an absolute monster with his 733 weapon strength. The future we will go for probably... It's really a tough call. Probably a good idea to finish off his magic line, that way we can at least grab Arcane Conduit. Renowned in Fear does not excite me as much in this one just because we don't have any... don't have any upkeep, so we don't have to worry about it at all. For Nekaph, we will start making him a better Canopic Jar Hoarder after we finish off his Devastating Charge, completing his melee line. Same thing with Apophis here. We'll finish off Devastating Charge, giving him a plus 30. And for Nebathar can go for his Devastating Charge finally. Settra's army is looking great, and before we waste any further time, we will jump in here and awaken a new dynasty. It is time. Rouse the legions. You know who we're bringing in. Over here in Zandri, we shall awaken Amenemhetum, the Tomb of the Vulture Lord. The Vulture Lord, King Amenemhetum of Zandri, founder of Nehekara Navy and conqueror of the oceans and distant lands, has awoken. In the name of the vulture god Ualatp, his conquests will recommence. Once his kingdom is stretched far to the north, including much of Talea and parts of the lands of the border princes, it will do so again. I messed that one up. It is said that he roams the seas with his fleet, fighting pirates who attempt to raid his homeland. Soon all will know that the words above his tomb are richly deserved, and he did smite and destroy his enemies with a great vengeance and furious anger. He's got 100% less attrition for High Seas, Reef, and Maelstrom. He's got more charge bonus for Carrion, 100% extra income for raiding, more melee attack for Carrion, a curse, obviously, since he is himself a Tomb King, and then Unbreakable for Carrion and his whole army. He will just lessen our overall diplomatic relations with Sartosa, who is already extinct. Welcome, Amenemhetum. Your will be done. We shall soon see. He gets access to a royal tomb mark. Very cool. We'll have to see how that works out. We will start things off with Route Marcher. Need to get rank 10 to get Vulture of the High Seas. Extra casualties, less construction costs for our ports. Good stuff. And for his army, we're going to go ahead and recruit in all of the Carrion we currently have access to, so all 5 of those. And then we'll grab the Doombark. 1 for now, it takes the 3 turns. Excuse me, wait, what? The Bronze Host of Kosovar, Tomb Guard. Is this what the Tomb Guard are now? Well, they've got missile strength. Oh, so they've got javelins as well. I mean, that's really good. Is that just all of the halberd Tomb Guard? Have they just been upgraded because we have access to Kosovar? Huh. Let me know if that's how that works. I'll have to go read up on the update notes, see if there's anything new there. We also have the Bone Giant. Many turns to get them on in. So I think for now, we'll just give him kind of a fun host of dual-axe skeleton warriors. We'll grab 3 of them, since they only take the 1 turn to come on in. And then we will kind of hang out. King Amenemhetum, we can also give you some of our Regiments of Renown we've been sitting on, so the Blessed Legion will weaken some armor, which is going to be very good for these Carrion. We can have King Nekeph's and then 1 of these Kepler Guard. Gotta get him an elite core while we're waiting on those Tomb Corsairs to be available. We could awaken them, but we just have to wait a little bit till we have a couple more Canopic jars available to us.
My glory.
Your glory indeed. Zondri definitely is going to need the Pyramid of said king of the Fleetport. This would give us access to all of the Tomb Corsairs and Vulture Legion that we're needing. Luckily, it is a cheaper pyramid, so let's wait on upgrading any of our other towns. They are doing just fine for now, and we will try to grab the Pyramid of King Amenemhetum soon. And as for the Black Pyramid of Nagash, it is time for it to fall to us. We are going to jump our prince here into King Bokaf's army, if he can be good and not delete any of our movement here. So we'll go ahead and remove the 13th Golden Host of Numas. They shall return in due time, although the Blades of Kassar are just Tomb Guard with shields, and I kind of want the dual weapon variant, or dual weapon, the two-handed weapon variant. Alright, so we'll move in on the Hierophant. We'll just make sure he can't escape. Trespassing once more. Time for King Nekaph to prove his worth. We attack. Well, before we do, let's see who they're at war with and see if we can't get any. Oh, they have no wars. Yeah, it's beatific. As we raise it to the ground. Get him, Nekaph. It is time for the Sentinels to be rent asunder. Death? He said, hang on now, what? Oh, Nekaph is not going to be able to chase him. We are going to have him instead come and attempt to bring down Hierophant Jonza and bring everyone else into the fight then. This brings the Hindismet a little bit closer. I want to make sure I have plenty of room to move. Nekaph, charge on in. Nekaph, charge on in. Oh, he has no more movement. Alright, so Hindismet then. It's up to you, bud. We'll have to have Nekaph in March. And actually, man, this Hierophant's he's gonna turn and attack the Black Tower most likely. That's fine. We'll deal with it. Bring it on, Hierophant Jonza. Also runs away. Fair enough. I didn't really want to fight you all inside the town, but it looks like we have no choice. Besiege. It will give us a valiant defeat here. There are 3 armies. Unfortunately for you, though, it's mostly just skeleton warriors. Obviously, the Royal Archers are horrifying in battle. They've even got themselves a... oh, I thought this was a mammoth. I was mis-seeing it for a moment. Yeah, no, this will be a battle for the ages. Remaining is the last and greatest legacy of the great necromancer Nagash. The Black Pyramid has stood silent for centuries following his death at the hands of King Alcatazar and the Fellblade. Guarded jealously by King Oftos and his legion known only as the Sentinels, the pyramid dwarfs even that of Settra's, and was once used as a structure that would harness the winds of magic to Nagash's whim, allowing him nigh unlimited power. The time is now. With the combined might of Sehenesmet and King Nekaph, we shall claim the pyramid and unlock its dark secrets. A vast war host hides behind these walls to keep the Black Pyramid's secrets from us. No longer Be cool if we actually got the Black Pyramid map instead of this is actually Kimri. Instead of there is a Black Pyramid map, but it is for the quest battle. It'd be neat if you could get it for this one as well. Oh, there it is, hanging out in the background. See, I mean, that is a fair addition. It makes it at least thematic, but I would like it to be a different map than Kimri. It is what it is, though. We've got some Royal Archers firing in from the start. Luckily, Sigismund actually can bounce these arrows off much better than what Settra was doing. Settra was not absorbing these arrows well at all. They're just kind of plinking harmlessly. Be cool if he could spin the Crook of Shepesh around to block arrows. Obviously, that'd be ridiculous, but makes Sigismund a Jedi again. We have our own reinforcing army coming in from the river here, which is going to look absolutely amazing coming out of the Blood River. They shall march in, and then we will claim the town. Our Ushabti are not absorbing the Royal Archer fire quite as well. Being made of stone, they are shrugging, well, they should shrug the poison off. It'd be cool if they were not affected by poison, any of the constructs. But that may be, again, a bit too strong. Let's have the Ancient Ushabti I cannot wait to see in battle. They have an armor sundering attack and should be quite deadly against literally anything they fight, even though they are more keen to rip down large targets. Our Ushabti great bows are smashing away at the walls, knocking away brick. You may have archers. We're basically throwing ballista bolts at you. Speed things up just a little bit, let the full impact of those arrows be felt. Man got hit full in the chest. That's so awesome. Yeah, the Ushabti Great Bow are incredible. We have them firing away at both sides. They are trying to plink away at the Royal Archers. We have the Airburst arrows going in on this side. I was hoping they would do a bit more, but they're looking like they're plinking mostly harmlessly off the front. We've got our Necro Serpents and all of the other constructs just kind of trying to figure out where their important targets are so we can lock them down. Get through as many of these gates as we can so we have options. The Ancient Ushabti smashing on in over there. Our other Ushabti have already reached the gates on this side of the settlement and are quickly working through with their blades. Give them a volley, Royal Archers, or you can just keep getting hit. That works too. Getting decimated by the Ushabti Archers there. Tomb Guard have made it to the wall. We figured since we actually have better infantry, we're happy to take the hit to our vigor and claim the walls. If you want to come fight with your Tomb Guard, we will happily take that engagement. As we're pouring up on both sides here, we've got some Reapers of Onuris moving in with their Hawk Legion discipline. They should take quick work of anyone that attempts to fight them. All of our Tomb Guard remaining have the discipline of the Hawk Legion, so they will fight like champions. Ripped a good portion of the front of the wall off so we can actually get some shots in. They're continuing to miss, unfortunately, though. Return fire coming in from these skulls. Let's take a look at the reinforcing army wading in from the Blood River. King Nekaph's force from the desert. Chariots and Tomb Guard. They will make the long trek across the desert, while the rest of our constructs break through the front line. They're eager for some blood. They'll be starved of blood this battle, but there'll be plenty of bones to crunch. The Captain Ushabti leading the way. As Royal Archers are trying to escape, they want none of what's about to come. Meanwhile, the other Tomb Guard have already engaged with our Ushabti and are getting torn asunder. These are just skeleton warriors. They won't last at all. Nuris is leading the charge. Sigismund's team has still not been yet given the order to charge through. I think it is about to be given, though. Here come the Sepulchral Stalkers. We have a whole heap of horses. I think I was waiting to get a unit that I could charge on in and attack the anti-large with some anti-large to bring down these Ushabti, since they are kind of waiting in the wings there for us to move on through. We've got our Stalkers and other ancient Ushabti waiting to land their damage. In they charge. Maybe. They got caught by the Royal Archers. Much to the chagrin of the Royal Archers. Tidal wave of concrete, or stone at least, smashes on into them. Our Necrotech is a little bit overextended, and he's definitely going to need to pull on back. I was just kind of using him to chase off some of those archers, but they've got too many forces moving in behind him, so he's going to need to rotate around to be safe. We'll drop back into slow-mo so we can see all the action going on as more and more Ushabti pour in through the gates. Desperate Nehekard warriors do attempt to stop them. Man, swinging at nothing. Swing and a miss. Our ancient Ushabti also pour in from the opening they made down in the south. There are many, many forces down here. Different blocks of legions moving from the other part of the city to defend. We've got Necroserpents moving over to assist that side. One man versus the chariots. He's going to want to retreat quite quickly. They're going to sit here and point blank him with arrows as much as they can. More Ushabti charging in. Fighting against Tomb Guard with halberds is not the fight they want to take. Don't have a lot of options though. We need to smash through and shut down their artillery as quickly as we can. It is the best way to do that with ease. Necroserpents charging in. We are going to probably get a bit of lag. There are so many forces running around on both sides here. I was experiencing in the battle, so I would not be surprised here in the replay. We've got a tomb swarm of our own coming down just to try to tear apart as much of the tomb guard as we can, and we also managed to clip the catapults there, so any of the tomb guard with halberds is really what I was going for. We've got 2 units being currently torn apart. They've got their own Ushabti moving to assist. Back over on the other main line here, we have the disciples of Ualatp. We've renamed the Reapers. Moving on in to find some soft targets, they were locating the Screaming Skull catapults and the Royal Archers. Wanted to try them out in combat. They will make their presence felt momentarily. The very popular Necrotech has all sorts of new friends and is getting horsey bites left and right. So Nurus is trying to locate their Tomb King. In a fight, he would defeat him very swiftly. You may be proud and brave warriors, but nothing stands against the construct army of Qatar. Stone versus bone is not a fight that bone wins very often. Got the Eyes of the Desert moving in to assist. Actually, these bitches may be the normal variant. That's the normal Sepulchral Stalkers, as well as all of our chariot teams. And the creepy Tomb Swarm moving in as well. It's going to be a nightmare for anyone inside. Look at that damage. They arrived and immediately made their presence felt. If you hate scarabs, this is not the battle for you. They charge on in. The Riders of Ualatp are doing quite well. They've gotten torn down a bit, but they're fighting a whole heap of archers solo. Those massive carrion are pretty big targets. They're fighting well. We've got lots of enemies disintegrating. Oh, we missed a good deal of the flamethrower, but we actually got in for part of it here. So we got the Disciples of Petra off to the side, just blasted in at the groups of Tomb Guard they had, and they melted away. Literally. Searing flame of Petra. Makes the blades cauterize better. What an amazing unit. We're probably going to end up putting them with Settra. They will be replacing... I'm not sure, but I think they belong with Settra as he is Petra's chosen. Another jet of napalm coming out. We can't leave till we see these poor skeleton warriors get torched. Yeah, it doesn't even need words. That's awesome. Healing can only protect them so much. It's a absolute torrent of flame coming on in. One more. Normal speed. That's the way. Oh no, that's some friendly fire there. Alright, well we are going to continue to annihilate them on this side. The Ualatp have broken in. While they do have some halberds, they are completely outnumbered there. They are overwhelmed to an extreme. Many units of soldiers coming on in to try to bring down our Reapers of Ualatp, so we need to bring them out quickly, but they're making their presence felt. Very good unit. They will be ending up with King Amenemhetum, the Vulture Lord. Necrotech's whip is flailing on around, showing them he's not to be messed with. And most of our enemies on the front here are disintegrating away. We just have a critical mass of constructs and chariots moving in, so many so that it's starting to break the game a bit. They are cleaving through that group. Herald Nekaph Knights are not the best for anti-archers. See, they don't do a ton of damage at a time, but they will work through them slowly there. But our ancient Ualatp ripping this group of Tomb Guard apart. Not their typical unit, as you see. They've taken a good bit of damage. They were getting shot at by archers while they were trying to fight. The other Necro Serpents have annihilated this group of halberds, and we're moving on up into the city itself. We've still got a few units left as the disciples of Ualatp retreat. It's a monster mash. You could barely tell who is friend and who is foe. The friendly fire here would probably unfortunately be quite intense. Give him the right hook. Then is met as a champion. Our Ualatp managed to hunt down their Screaming Skull catapults, who have been destroyed, as they deserve. What is this creature? Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments. Do you know what this animal is? I think we need one as a war beast. It looks freaky. We've got a unit charging in on the Eyes of the Gods. Probably not a unit they actually want to fight. The bravery breaks as they turn to charge. Get them. Oh, get some wicked lag there, but they are going to swing into battle with those bows. They don't need blades. And point blank them with the airburst arrows. Alright, well they don't play around at all. They're not doing a lot of damage, sadly, but here comes a second group of Ualatp to lend their presence and their blades. We'll slow things down because it looks like the battle is starting to wear out. They came in with 5,700 and they are down to 31. We have not lost hardly any at all. Having just this critical mass of serpent and stone is working out. Chariot crumbles. Should not have done battle with our Necropolis Knights. That was a fool mistake. Royal Archers are still doing their thing. They are laser beaming Amenemhetum because that is their job. And they're just a few more Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors stand in our way. But the two groups have broken through. The initial bulwark has been defeated. It's just mopping up these disparate forces. They have the reinforcements in the back, but at this point I don't think it's going to be enough. We'll stay over here since this is going to be where the main battle is going to be taking place. Ualatp versus the Necropolis Knights, and Ancient Ualatp is not a fight they are going to last long at all. Rip through them like tissue paper. All of the poison being spewed out. They thought they were safe inside their walls from chariots? No, absolutely not. And that charge still does insane damage. Hitting them against these stone serpents. Leadership is shattering across the board. They have one last bulwark over here. getting smashed through. Sent back to the afterlife. Don't worry, we'll bring your souls back. You will work for Settra. They've got their own Necropolis Knights joining the party now. Trying to get a rear charge in on ours. But we have 2 groups to their 1. And we have Ushabti. Stone men who hate. They're like the mongoose. They hate cobras. Got a tomb scorpion joining the far party as well. Roll it on around. Got its body there in the middle. While a very potent unit, it is out of its element here. It wants to be rolling around in groups of infantry. And there are not many of those here. Leadership is breaking across the board. The armies of Nagash, the Sentinels of Nagash, are no longer. We will crush them to dust and claim the pyramid for ourselves. Well done, soldiers. An absolutely crushing defeat for the Sentinels. They lost 5,800 soldiers while we only lost 170. Yes, the Black Pyramid falls to Khemri. Its secrets to be unlocked. We could sack the settlement for a bit of gold, but actually I feel that we should claim it as is.
My new city.
Your new city. Kenarus gains a skeleton chariot, and Nekaph a steed. Nekaph has his Blade of Dust. With a flash of his sword, King Nekaph bids his troops to reawaken from their hiding positions and leap to action, giving him a bit more speed, melee attack, weapon strength, and awaken the horseman. Powerful unit ideal for combat. So is he able to summon? It looks like this is a summon. We shall see. And Amos also is now riding upon a skeletal steed. Great Mortis Delta has been secured. Now all we have to do is eliminate Hierophant Berekt, and that is the Sentinels mopped up. We shall not be adding them to our forces. They belong to Nagash and must be destroyed in total. Pyramid of Nagash exalted. Very awesome. Okay, so this one already has a Scorpion Nest, the Vault of Nagash, giving us the secrets of the Black Temple. Deep inside the Pyramid of Nagash is said to be a vault, cursed with undead magic by the fabled necromancer himself. Only very few know what secrets it truly holds. Gives us 3 extra rank for heroes and lords faction-wide. Oh, it all unfortunately does give us plus 20 vampiric corruption, so we're going to have to work to counteract that while we're here. Sandstone walls are good, so we're going to actually take out the Tomb Scorpion building, and we're going to work on buildings that actually decrease overall corruption, because plus 20 is quite intense. We'll swing on in and grab Worship of Asaf. Well, that does lose our extra growth, which is unfortunate, but we are gaining lots of additional growth from the surrounding provinces due to the upgrade to... Where are they at? The upgrade to the Regnant Catacombs. So that should work out just fine. King Nekaph, we will make sure you're within the circle. That way if he decides to attack you, you won't struggle too much, but let's pass out some skills. So Nekaph, we can gain Xar's Favored Son, giving us access to 7 uses of that Vortex, which is... That's intense. That's a lot of desert running around. Go ahead and give him the Indomitable Will and start making him a bit stronger. So Conqueror. Each of our kings must be a conqueror before they can lead legions of elite. You, good sir. Leech Dreadnoughts. Alternatively, we could finish off his magics. The Incantation of Desiccation is pretty good, dropping melee defense by 24 and attack by 40. We could also start working on making the Sepulchral Stalkers better, which I think is what we're going to go for. Master Charioteers just works for Khemri and War Sphinx. Yeah, we're going to remove most of the chariots if we haven't already, and then we will put in... What else does this give them? Melee attack for Sepulchral Stalkers, and then some weapon strength as well. Available at rank 20. Okay, I think we'll actually just go for Evasion, and then Magical Reserves, make sure he's not running out of magic anytime soon. Kenarus, let's start working on the Incantation of Repair. replenishment rate for constructs in the whole army. And then we could gain extra capacity for one of these three. So Shabti, Tomb Scorpions, or yeah, it's just going to go for Ushabti. The Hinizmet is an Ushabti fella. And then we'll definitely go for Master Builder. Some amazing passives there. And later on, we can go for probably Hierotitan. Necrosphinxes are great, but we've already got one. I'd like a Hierotitan. Then for Prince Onuris, Foot Soldier of all Foot Soldiers, we'll give him Over My Dead Body. And then we'll also go for... Ooh, tough call. I think we'll give him more armor.
A bold strategy.
Or Amos, let's go ahead and give him... Exorcism is alright, but let's go for the Net of Amentok, so that we can shut someone down and fill them full of arrows. We'll max that one on out, and then we'll also grab... Ooh, makes people unbreakable in an area. That seems pretty good. I mean, alternatively, giving them more armor in an area also does pretty much the same thing. We'll go for Replenish Troops for now. Just because it's a really good passive to have. And then for his prince, we'll give the Tomb King's Road to War. I'd love to see how this impacts a single unit. He has one more skill point to use. We'll grab Weapon or Wound Maker. Give 20% extra. Goes up to 455. And with our ill-gotten gains, we are able to go ahead and slot in the Pyramid of Amenemhetum. It is going to be a 5-turn build, so it's a bit of a smaller pyramid than the others, thankfully. Let's get that going. We need access to those Tomb Corsairs. Get him a thematic-looking army. Before we end the turn, the Bowmen of Orion are willing to go ahead and peace out. We will quickly accept this.
Lucky that we didn't send you to parley with the Dryads.
You need to relax. We'll take the peace treaty, and we'll also take the non-aggression pact, give us 2 treaties at once, and then we'll make them balance that on out. They don't have a ton of gold since we beat the brakes off of them, but we'll weaken them as much as we can. They're allowed to keep the one army, and this should end our war.
As you say.
Hopefully, now the Wood Elves learn what fighting a true king is like.
Smiles on us.
I has powers.
You do has powers. He is at war with the dwarves, so if we stay at war with Bloody Hands for now, we can peace out with them at some point, since they're not sending armies down. But if we stay at war with them, it'll allow Karak to keep ticking on up in
Liberus shall rise again.
diplomatic relations, so we can actually keep some friends.
Your petition has reached the great king and is found wanting.
Speaking of peace, he would like a peace treaty. You're paying us some gold, and honestly, I'm not concerned about Karak. We can maintain relations with him just through our war with Scarbrand, so we'll take it. Less enemies is good for now. Hierophant Berekt has one job, and it is to reclaim the Black Pyramid, no matter the cost, so we will allow him to fall as he wishes. We'll allow King Nekaph to lead the charge, though. Oh, hang on, we almost sent the hero out. There we go. It'll give us a decisive victory. Yeah, auto-resolve, we would crush them. We're going to actually march out. I'm not going to have Hinizmet fight. He is going to pretend like he is, well, not pretend, but he is actually staying back to replenish his forces and see if Nekaph actually needs assistance. Nekaph must prove himself to war. The Demon King of the Desert performed well in the last battle. Let's see how well he hunts down the final followers of Nagash. The Sentinels bring their last force to try to siege us out and claim it back. It's a desperate ploy. We are not impressed. Forward. Basically, we're just going to use our overwhelming chariots to smash through any of his weak spots, blast away at them with our catapults, and try to pull them on in to a fight, which they are not looking to have at all. They're going to try to retreat. Some magic goes out to try to blast our Arian and get a good bit of damage there. Did a horrible job of dodging. Got some sneaky units in the woods. I was expecting them actually to charge in on us, but they have decided to, I guess, camp and wait for our reinforcing army. We shall see how well that works out for them. In charge. Now see, if you present your backs to a charging horseman, they're going to slaughter you. Yes, case in point. And here we see proper usage of the runaway method. Got our chariots charging on in. Their sepulchral stalkers were hiding until we got a bit closer, so we're going to take some damage on the way in. But such is the way. We have our chariots to fire arrows back on at them. King Nekaph has his own magics. He himself may not be a spellcaster, but can summon sandstorms. And that rages right around him, doing a ton of damage, ripping through several of the legions there. He can summon in some horsemen who have charged into the back line. Surprise! A group of skeletal horsemen appeared. Disciples of Ualatp are able to make their presence felt much better in a normal field battle where they can get in that back line and smash up some archers. Our reinforcing army has come on in. We aren't going to be able to keep them out of the fight just because of where they are reinforcing, and the AI wants to immediately charge them in. So we shall lend their blades to this fight. See our enemies off even sooner. All of the arrows plinking off of the sepulchral stalkers. Any extra chip damage we can do to them before they get into melee is going to be very key. Gotta locate your high priority targets and kill them first at all costs. These skeletal spearmen and swordsmen, they mean nothing. Just some the head of this carrion is the size of one of these dudes. Just not a creature I'd be keen on fighting. Put it back into normal speed. Has this serpents charge in from the rear there. Smash any units that were still unprepared. Skeletal dual axemen. Their bearded axes mean nothing against what is coming. I mean, we've got to get some slow motion flamethrower action, right? That's what we're here for. Get them, disciples. Cannot wait to try out some of the other disciples. Flamethrower unit is incredible. Now, their leadership should be breaking rather soon. Across the board, they are receiving a flank of monstrous proportions. We're bringing stalkers of our own, firing over the backs of our allies. And the sentinels hold on their soldiers' brakes. More volley from our skeletal legion. Hear the shatter of souls leaving constructs. Another bone-shattering charge from our chariots, and that should quickly rout the final Ualatp as well as this Lich Priest. Cleaved in twain. You tried your best. Nagash would be proud. And I believe King Nekaph has shut off his mastery just fine, with 297 kills going to him alone. Our reinforcing force jumped in right behind the enemy, so not much of a choice to keep them back. They just charged right on in and smushed, which works for me. We should go ahead and... I kind of want the gold, but we'll take the canopic jars just to keep those returning as fast as we can. Sentinels are gone. For now, at least. Unless we get that certain end times. We shall soon see. Ancient Tyrant gives us more money from sacking settlements. We shall go for Restless Spirit of his age, giving us even more Doom Princes. And, Conqueror. We have access to 3 more Tomb Prints. We shall not grab them just yet. We're going to have to give them names and a bit of a backstory. So we'll wait to grab them. We'll grab the Exorcism, though. Give her to Tennisman, who also gains some skills. Closing in on... Oh, we need to have 4 skill points spent. Fair enough. Have no Necrosphinx, but that one also works for Sepulchral Stalkers. Emmerich Titans, and then Kepra Swarm and Kepra Widers. We'll go for this one, since we actually already have some Sepulchral Stalkers. It gives them 8 more melee attack.
Find my
And
hand.
Generous, we don't have quite enough skill points yet, so we'll go for increased mobility. As for our next goal, I believe we are going to be sending Settra after Thorak and his expedition. There are many factions, Orian's camp included, that would appreciate us attacking them.
Our bargain will be inscribed in Clinkaroon. Bind.
Yeah, it's going to be a war declaration though, my friend. So we will grab Settra, we'll bring him over and prepare to invade. We'll not trespass if we can help it. Well, I guess we're going to go, right through their land? Can we go around Settra? Can we be polite? I guess we did just defeat them in battle. This is going to make the Tlaqua faction irritated with us. Is what it is. Move through. He is trespassing. Unpermitted. Yeah, listen. You already got beaten in war once. Don't make me do it a second time. We're gonna move over here to smush Karak Zorn. I actually believe is their faction capital. Yep. We can claim that. It gives us access to some golden idols. Those will be quite nice. We will have King Nekaph move up to the north, start flaming the desert wastelands up there. Start turning the wasteland into desert. We'll move him in march stance over into Kimri.
Is my throne ready?
And we'll move past Kimri. As much distance as we can there. We'll leave Sehenesmet here in the Black Pyramid just to continue to rebuild it, and to be able to respond to any threats that may arise. Amenemhetum over here is going to be continuing to recruit up forces in Zandri. I think we want to give him a bit of... Although these skeleton horse archers I want to put in Wakaph's force just because of the type of army he would normally be fielding. These skeletal dual axe warriors are going to be very meh. We have access to 1 Tomb Scorpion. We have lots of constructs that I'd like to add. Especially these Necrolith Colossi. Syrian's Kepra Swarm, they do fly. These are similar to the ones that you summon with Apophis. Well, the Tomb Swarm scuttle around on the ground. Alright, Amenemhetum. I think we need you... I mean, we'd love some Bronze Host, right? They have javelins. We'll grab 3 of them. The Bronze Host can be rolling with the pirates. And then for now, we'll give you the Skeleton Horse Archers, as well as 1 more Tomb Bark. That way we've got a good bit of Air Force and mobile units. Oh, this guy had a Javelin. I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. A Skeletal Javelinman. And then just 1 more boarding axes is what we'll call them, even though that's not what that is at all. Perfect. Well, he's going to have a very interesting army. Can't wait to use it. These are going very well. Kimri has fallen fully under our control. We would need 4 population surplus to grab the Kimric Titan statue. So I think in Kimri, maybe we first start with a restored Hyro Titan. Question mark? Yeah, we'll grab the restored Hyro Titan. And then at New Moss, we can put in the Scarab City. Gifts our resources down quite a ways there, but it is what it is. We'll put in the Funerary District and then upgrade the Mausoleum. We shall not, actually. We shall wait till we can upgrade Kasabar. Sudenburg also would like some help. I'm happy to put in some walls in Sudenburg to keep it safer. And then at Charnel Plaza, we can take all the way up to tier 5 eventually. We've got a good deal of military buildings there. I just have to put the constructs into different armies. So King Nekaph, probably should not have put him in March Dance. We could have probably replaced the Creeping Death with one of the construct armies. So we may kind of camp out on our border before we invade Skarbrand, just to make sure the force is looking exactly how we want it. Then the first thing we're going to spend our gold on is over here at the Great Desert. We can unlock the Lost Tombs, giving us a little bit more of our technology, more unit capacity for Ushabti and the Great Bow, or growth for this region, which isn't entirely helpful, but that perfect vigor for Ushabti and Ushabti Great Bow for units in all armies is going to be incredible. So it'll take 5 turns for that to pop on in. Then over at Martech, we can claim this iron. Coffer. There is some spices for us to put into the coffers, as well as a Charnel Plaza. Now we want to make sure we have access to the walls there easily. So Amenemhetum.
Immortality and power.
I'm happy to kick out one of these dual axes. I have gone ahead and removed the Disciples of Ualatp from the other armies, so in 10 turns we can slot them in King Amenemhetum's army. I didn't want to move him all the way over to switch up some forces, which is kind of what we did here. We have Sehenesmet trading off Onuris's freshly trained Hawk Legion, which I did not want to lose. They are now rolling with King Nekaph, and he has a much more desert-oriented mobile army. So he's got some Syrian's Kepler Swarm. He's obviously got one large Necrolith Colossus to be his flagship unit. And then we can replace some of these other lads later on with a bit more horsemen or units like the Scorpions. I may remove both of these Necropolis Knights and replace them with the Tomb Scorpions. I believe it is time we declare our war on Karak Zorn.
Bargain will be inscribed in
We don't have any treaties with them.
Binding, enduring.
Only issue is this is going to make Krokgar upset. We are only going to have one lizard friend for this one until we beat him up and teach him the error of his ways. So let's start the war with Thorek. The Master Rune Lord and his expedition should have never come here. After experiencing the predations of their fellow clan of miners in the Adelan Mountains, Settra would give these small, greedy fools no quarter. We shall shatter their so-called runes of power and send their souls to Joff. Yes, the short war begins. Let it start. Logs, Bright Axe, you are going to feel the wrath of Settra. He has already seen how you petty dwarves act. We're going to finish you off. Let's give this banner that used to be on Apophis, who is going to head on up and join Wakaph's army. We have Settra, Nekaph, and the Tomb Prince. I'm also bringing over the lad with the Net of Amentok, because I feel like we can use him to secure one unit and run them down with a bunch of chariots. I feel like that could be really useful. So let's begin the battle. They've got some Longbeards. Longbeards are a pretty powerful unit, but besides that, that is about all of the strength they are rolling with. So as long as we can eliminate those Longbeards quickly, we should have no problem securing the victory. And so begins our war on the Dawi. We have already exterminated one of these groups of mountain pests. It is time to get rid of the other. We've got our archer chariots firing on over the walls. I'm very happy to see that they did not deploy any balanced formations of archers of their own, so their quarrelers will be not as useful as they could be. So they're mostly over here on the front, preparing to face down our front line, whom we have in two groups. We've got a unit of damage dealers, sword and board, and halberds on all three units. And then Settra is going to be deciding on attacking whichever side is a bit more party in targets. So we'll speed this battle up and get it started. Casket of Souls firing off a volley. Smashing right into these shields of the Iron Breakers. These are not Iron Breakers, these are Quarrelers. We found ourselves a gate for the Great King to smash through. And in they roll. Gonna take their chariots a second to get through that gate. Settra does count as a siege attacker with the change to the faction leader of each faction. And yeah, we're in no hurry to get through these gates. We're just gonna fire these arrows over the wall, kill as many dwarves as we can before we have to charge on in. Their armor and overall weight is going to make them a bit more hardy in combat with our chariots. We will take similar damage in return as if we were be charging into Bloodletters. Gates are about to swing open. I figured it would be we get a cinematic shot of the gates bursting open. Curses. I missed it by a little bit. Arrows fly on in, they're going to plink against their shields, make them do something besides fire back at us with those crossbows. Settra charges through and he continues moving. Pretty weak blast from the Wrath of Tra there, unfortunately, but the great swords have reached the walls. There are Longbeards to slay. This man's beard was magnificent. Going to be quite the fight for our Tomb Guard here. Both being an incredibly elite unit. Ironbreakers, or the Longbeards, we're going to keep calling them Ironbreakers because brain's broken. Longbeards are quite good at holding the line for almost an indeterminate amount of time. But we shall see how well our great weapons break that line. Chariots are through the gate, but they need to probably retreat because these great weapon dwarf warriors were ready for them and they didn't get a very good charge in. The other chariots are charging in to the rear. The Tomb Guard have claimed the wall, or at least are fighting hard for it. With some artillery support, some danger close fire support. While their lord has been bogged down by the Kepra Guard and the Halberd Tomb Guard, respectively, and he's going absolutely nowhere. He's got armor piercing on one side and anti-infantry on the other. Going to be a nightmare for him.
So be it.
Settra and his Herald have already crushed through a good deal of these quarrelers. We're just going to continue to try to mop them up. All of their damage is coming from their crossbows, and we want to shut that down as fast as we can. Other halberd unit charging in on some normal dwarf warriors. They should be able to win this fight pretty easily here. Their beards are not nearly as magnificent. Actually, the Longbeards are struggling hard against our great weapon Tomb Guard. He can leap very high in the air, though. I think it's that beard gives him a little bit extra muscle, lugging that thing around. Other Tomb Guard have been flanked by Longbeards on both sides, though, so they are going to need some support pretty quickly. Or I guess Warriors on one side, Longbeards on the other. Necrosphinx tossing many Dawi aside, crushing their stunty bodies beneath his blades. Keep slicing them up. Give him the old Darth Maul treatment. Or something much worse. Several groups of dwarf warriors moving through the town, but we have our chariots moving in and doing their damage. We've got some Longbeards over here with great weapons to be aware of, so we're going to try to ignore them and just keep dealing damage to the normal dwarf warriors, who pose much less of a threat. Having a couple stutters there, apologies for that. We shall keep moving. Beautiful magma lake boiling in the background. We're gonna need that for the geothermals for sure. The Tomb Guard are holding very well for fighting against two units, one of them being very elite. Nothing phases the elite of Nehekara. Brawlers are not enjoying their archer duel. Most lie dead or bleeding. There's the last man there. He's gonna charge in, shield ready. Make him proud, dude. The Kepra Guard are able to heal up most of the damage dealt by this man here, but he's done his damage back to the Tomb Guard with halberds. Can't expect to fight someone that stout and grumpy without taking some damage in return. The gritty combat on the walls there. Hard to hit the angle just right, so we're not clipping. There we go. Magnificent. Man got hit so hard he flew into the air. We will cleave through them quickly. We're going to swing on back over to where our chariots are struggling with a couple units of Dawi. Luckily we do have some Tomb Swarm to cause them problems. And the lack of mobility for the dwarves is really coming into play here. I can smash into a unit and run away as fast as I can, and keep doing that kind of over and over again, and they are unable to really respond in any meaningful way. Even an incredibly weakened chariot can do a ton of damage on that charge. Completely obliterating this unit here. As long as we keep them moving, they can't get bogged down. Especially with all the buffs that the Tomb King chariots have to mass. Charge on in, Settra. We were missing you. magic and blade. Got a few units of Dawi left, but we have our chariots to mop them up on this side. This is mostly where the fighting is going to remain. All of the units on the other side have been defeated, save for their lord. And instead of charging into this unit here, we decided now we're just going to scoot on by. We will see you later. We had some chariots that were needing some assistance. Those Longbeards were lending a bit too much weight to the equation. As you can see, the charge with the Longbeards doesn't do quite the damage that it does to the others. Got a lot of melee defense and a lot of armor. Smashing on into the dwarves. Chariots on both sides. His beard is long. He's at least going to let us know. We should see about that, good sir. It looks like the Nehakarans are worthy. Who slay many a Dawi. Leadership is beginning to break across the board. Oryx Expeditionary Warriors do not quite have the grit the Karazhan Corps have. They rely heavily on their runes. The cowards. Settra should be moving on in to assist. Yeah, here he comes. You can't keep him away from a bloodshed. And the break goes out. Took slaying most of their force, but they eventually surrender. There will be no subjugation for the dwarfs of these lands, though. We will drive them out and claim this mountain for Settra. And the short war begins with a crushing defeat for Log's Brightaxe. The Ironbrow expedition is going to rue the day. We will claim this victory and Karak Zorn for Himri. We'll be doing no sacking. We don't need to be rebuilding anything or spending any money to rebuild the settlement that doesn't belong to us. Whip up a new Storm of Necromancy, rather. And complete yet another mission here. Seek and destroy any enemy or army belonging to one of the enemies of Labaris. Perfect. We will quickly go in here and gain some new skills for Prince Nevathar, who is going to be needing his charge bonus. And then utilizing King Nekaph's new skill, we have 2 new Tomb Princes. One that is going to be a cavalry master, giving him some extra recruit rank for all of our horsemen, and then some extra stats while on a skeletal steed. And then the other prince being one that is treacherous, giving some extra combat stats to Tomb Scorpions, as well as a bit of extra success chance for all of the hero actions in his local province. So they are going to be very good additions to the team. We don't have any other Tomb Princes in the pool that I'm really looking for right now. Master of Ceremony and Wrathful. We can grab another Wrathful Tomb Prince, but I'd like to wait to see if we can get something a little bit different. So we shall wait. We already have 8 of them running around and not that many armies with which to put them in, so we shall wait. We've got a little bit of extra gold. We have quite enough for some walls. I think it's a good idea to defend Al-Haik. And then as far as the rest of what we've got going on, Sinufret up in the north can continue his merry journey. Looks like Lorelorn Forest is about to be brought down by the Leech Lord. Chaos is wreaking havoc in the north, to be sure. And they've claimed Salzenmoon, Dieterschaffen. Most of the Empire looks like it is struggling pretty hard here. Surprisingly, Hochland is still surviving. But Franz has himself a lot of work cut out for him. Well, let's get these princes out and see if they can't assassinate some of these Cornate individuals. Oh, we don't have quite enough fundage for that. Alright, in that case, we will just kind of leave them out and about. We'll send the princes to join the army before too long, but for now we'll use them as scouts. So they shall ride out into the wilderness as King Nekaph finishes up his recruiting. Office continue to move him up towards King Nekaph, and he can jump into that army. We will most likely remove probably just one of the Tomb Guard with the sword and shield. Halberd Tomb Guard are much more what we're looking for his army, just to hold the line, while the horsemen can move around. Alright, so we're going to remove the creeping death host from Sehenismet. Although we don't have any other globals maxed out. So we'll leave them in for now, and we'll have Sehenismet move in March stance back to the Black Pyramid. Keep it protected. We need to get this vampiric corruption moving on down. Yeah, we are still at positive 10. That's going to be a tough one to reduce. If at all possible, if we're able to. It may just be the trade-off we have to deal with.
Lord of the Glade.
The turn is once again Settra's, and it is time to continue our unstoppable march through the mountains, onward to the last plateau. It matters not if there's any dwarves here hiding in ambush, we will smash right through. I foresee this short war being quite short indeed. The settlement garrison rides to face us, and they will be obliterated. We'll take this one on the auto-resolve. We lose 115 to their 760. We will simply claim the Lost Plateau. Gain ourselves a Lichbone Pendant. Settra is leveled up to 45. We have a lot of skill points assigned on into him. Do we go for just a bit more armor, or do we start working on his magic? We'll at least give him some more speed and melee defense. Nekaph will start working on the canopic jars.
My dynasty.
Oh, Nuris. I'm happy to give you a bit more armor.
I have risen.
And then Prince Nefikare here. Probably give this lad a bit more speed. That's all the princes that gained skill points. Lost Plateau looks to be an orc city. Gross. We'll fix it on up right, though. We'll put in the Desert Lookout. Although we don't really need the Desert Lookout, do we? We'll leave as is. We'll put in the Obelisk. Start helping out our overall research. We have no growth buildings in here, though, so that'll be what we put in here up at Mount Arachnos. You're at least improving little by little. They still are low enough where they will just declare war on us randomly, so we want to keep that in mind. We'll have Apophis come on up north and see if he can't assassinate Niels. Claim his heart. It costs a lot. You better claim his heart. And he slithers on over and... Oh, you failed. Gained a Legion of Esaf, though.
Your race may have created this world, but I rule it.
Alright, Krogar. You heard what he said. You may have created it. We rule it now. We'll just have to punch Krogar a couple times, and he'll learn the way very soon. Big issue is he is trading with the Bowmen still. So we are going to have to crump him quickly. Krogar is known as a great warrior. How embarrassing it shall be then as we tear through their warriors and mount Grimlock's head on our magnificent trophy wall. We've been issued a new mission. Do not tempt me. Raise or sack the Golden Tower. For 1,200 treasury, 20 jars, and 1,200 more if we're able to do it in 6 turns. I mean, don't tempt me indeed. I do need to move to try to finish off Ironbrow, though. We are deep in the mountains and not a lot of place to go. We do have to be concerned about where Krogar is going to be coming from. But we do have to eliminate Thorak as well, so... Yeah, we'll finish off this province. Please have a larger garrison. Make it a challenge. Not even a challenge. What a sad day. Alright, we'll give this one auto-resolve as well. Hopefully we'll have a better battle coming up soon. And if not, we'll go ahead and take it no matter what, because I would like to get into some more field battles. Mount Arachnos Falls to Settra. Another storm of necromancy kicking on in. Oh, this one's set up quite nicely. We just need the exotic animal cages here. We'll get rid of the funerary district. Upgrade the sepulcher here. a cheap upgrade for a bit more research. Spice Bazaar's looking awesome. Then if we get the Nehekar and Suk, we can eventually get 1 musketman. But 1, that's all we need. 2 more turns before Kasabar can be upgraded, so we will wait on Ontok. May get it killed, but we want to be smart with it. Black Tower we can take up to tier 4. Let's do that. Give us access to his building there. Let's take to the waves. A strange campsite is discovered, populated by statues. A fire still burns and a cooking pot bubbles, and yet no living thing attends. Just statues fashioned in the throes of a failed escape. Then, in the undergrowth, something hisses. This needs to be a lightning-fast raid. We can grab some fortified grog or those who escaped. Let's grab extra campaign movement. During our dalliances on the high seas, you came across a stranded crew, willing to join you in exchange for food and rescue. Are we sure we gave them food, or do we just, like, rip the souls from their bodies and make them join? Impress ganged. I think that answers the question for me. Are there any more islands nearby? Well, I'd like to take out to the sea and fight with these dwarves up in the north. I think it'd probably be a better idea to get moving south and prepare for the lizards. His conquests of the seas will commence, but first we need to deal with the lizard threat. We'll come on back into Zandri. And they can get moving. I am sad that we didn't get any battle out of that island, but such is the way. Alright, Apophis, do your thing. This is expensive, dude. You'd better succeed. There it is. That gets rid of that lad. He shouldn't be back. Not challenge me. Start allowing him to hoard up some canopic jars. We're up to 449 of those. I think we need a bit more gold to awaken. Oh, hang on now. I was wrong. We can get both Ualatp's Chosen and Amenemhetup's Curse. English. Let's grab the Vulture Legion first, because we haven't gotten to see either of these guys in combat, but these cost a little bit less. We may be able to get both, though. So Vulture Legion awakened. And... ooh, the Corsair Legion as well. Let's get it. Welcome back. And then we should be able to put them in the Corsair King's army. So we'll remove these 2 dual axes and slot in instead the Chosen. I guess we could also do the Golden Host of Karak. So get rid of these dual axe warriors here. And oh, we have 3 of those total. That makes sense. So grab you both and then the Golden Host. Zandri Black Shields are technically who would roll with him, but we'll grab just the Golden Host of Karak for now. They perform a little bit better in combat. Serrated Blades. Do they have anything special going on? Nah, that doesn't really matter though. Turtles would be pretty good for them. Can't wait to see them in combat. Them and the Vulture Legion.
You invite the ire of the great king. Unwise and fatal for you.
Alright, Tic-Tac-Toe. He has declared war. He thinks the Air Force of Tlaqua has what it takes. That's okay. We can clash with the armies of order. They've got to learn a thing or two. The legendary Air Force of Tlaqua has declared their intention for war. How many lizards must we slay before they learn that Khemri shall not be slowed by the children of dead gods? Let us blacken their skies with carrion and arrows. Our kingdom shall dominate the land, air, and sea. Let it begin. And the turn once again falls to Settra. Yeah, we are going to attempt to retreat. Not so much a retreat with Settra, but move south since Tlaqua and the Lizardmen are moving on us at the same time, which Tlaqua is Lizardmen. Mind me not. Hopefully she can actually move in and finish them off while... oh, hang on now. She's losing hard to the last defenders. Alright, Labaris. Understood. You're going to need some support. Numos is the northernmost. It's definitely going to need some better walls there. Very happy King Nekaph is able to get back into the combat. We're going to send you off to the east right away. We'll allow you to finish off Thorak if need be.
I serve king and patriarch.
Good to hear. We'll use you as a scout. I'm assuming the lizards shall be arriving very shortly.
I serve king and patriarch.
Alright, Amenemhetum. You need to hang out just for one turn. Oh, I believe. Does the Black Tower count? Sweet. Oh yeah, we can keep you moving then. Down all the way to El Kalabad? Yes, indeed. You scoot on down, and then we'll replace... The Kepra Guard don't really belong with you, so we'll remove them, as much as it makes me sad. We'll remove the Kepra and the Golden Hose, kind of keep you more of a thematic army. He's got an absolute ton of carrion. Yeah, here we go. The Pirates. We get Infinite Vulture Legion. And then... So do these guys have anything special going on? They've got fire ammo. Very little ammo. But they can fire while moving. The Breaching Axes are the anti-large. Well, they're both... Although they're both anti-infantry. Those are great axes as opposed to dual swords. We already have one set of dual swords. We'll shoot one of each. And then I think we may replace these skeleton horse archers, which don't really belong with you, with some more Vulture Legion. He's got a lot of Air Force already. This is going to be an absolute amazing army to play. Can't wait. Probably a good idea to gain an ancient battle site for some more access to some goodies. I think first, though, we will upgrade El Kalabad, followed by the Pools of Despair here. 1994 on the old gold. The rest of it, before we do, let's see about awakening any more Legions of Legend. Yeah, the Flock of Joff, why not? They are only enhancified by the Corsair King's abilities. So we'll give him this group. Kick out that group of carrion and then slot in the Flock of Joff. The hateful flying war beasts. I mean, they're a little bit stronger. And faster, too. They've got those jets. Figure the jewels would weigh them down, but they do not. Alright, Prince. We'll have you come on in and join the army. Just punched my microphone. But of course, why wouldn't I? I guess we're going to lose one more carrion. 4 total. That does feel right. Jump you into the army. And we'll upgrade the ancient battle site as well. The turn is again ours. We'll grab the Settra and get moving down here towards the Golden Tower. Try not to trespass on the Bowmen of Orion, but we will make no promises. Keep Settra moving, and then since we know there's no one down here in the Golden Tower, well, at least to this part, we'll come take an eye on Tlaqua, see what's going on down here. I believe they're still at war with... Yeah, they are still at war with the Lore Masters, so the elves are going to keep them busy. Quite busy, indeed. As long as Teclis isn't also dealing with Tyros down there in the south. Looks like Scarbrand was moving down Slaughterhounds. We destroyed Dakara and turned it into a Bloodhost army.
Order me.
Alright, we'll try to assassinate Asavar then. Those are your orders. Well done, sir.
Yes.
And then... yeah, she still owns the Granite Massif. We can move in and assault that garrison. They will replenish pretty quickly, though. Maybe we assault Dragonslayer? Try to assassinate the Runesmith. We would have a higher chance with the Engineer. Ooh, a failure. At least he didn't get hurt. Alright, King Nekaph. We're going to try some sneaky maneuvers. The Slaughterhounds should be entirely foolish and sprint straight towards us like idiots, so we're going to stand right here. Oh, no we're not. A Scarbrand appears. Alright, well, ambush stance, and then it's time for King Nekaph to defend the kingdom against Scarbrand the Exile. What is he rolling with? That is a ton of chariots. I see that you have been watching our success. Fair enough. Go ahead and upgrade the walls somewhere, but I think Pools of Despair getting an upgrade will be good for me. And then the Cerium Pit, giving us some extra Nehekara horsemen and skeleton horsemen archers. And then once we get the second dynasty, we're able to get the Nehekara and Tomb Guard horsemen. We may wait on that one. Just go for walls in one of the settlements that needs it. Yeah, upgrade Sudenburg's walls. We'll leave Settra as is in ambush stance even. Need to get some more battles. We only had 4 so far. A dynasty research. Wisdom of the 6th dynasty has been enacted, gaining us access to yet another army. The Bowmen have ignored our... No, they didn't. They turned around and ran. What are you talking about? They ignored nothing. Alright, Settra, time to fight. We have a Lizardmen army here of the Last Defenders. We've got 2 set of Temple Guard, which are going to be by far their scariest unit. Everything else here we shall run down in the streets to battle. We did not ask for this war with these lizards, but we will happily take their Tower of Gold. If there is a golden tower, it shall be Settra's. And luckily for us, we didn't have to declare war on them to take it. Look at that. We get to avoid the colonizer tag. We've got our forces set up in this little gully here. I was going to try to pull them in, but they immediately retreated. So the plan was just to bring the infantry forward, and the chariots allowed them to kind of smash. Obviously, this is going to be a routing, but we still wanted to play it smart. We don't want to lose troops. We want to be aggressive, but intelligent. Got all of our heavy hitters and then a group of halberds off on the side to act as a flanking force. So any kind of Saurus or Temple Guard, they should be able to butter through pretty quickly. We got I had a nice little crossfire all set up. I was prepared to slaughter these foolish lizards, but they didn't decide to do what I wanted. So, such is the way. Nevathar rolling in on the left flank, while obviously Nekaph charges straight down the middle. These lizards have a little bit less loyalty and leadership than most. Smashes on through. And their maces are going to do 0 against Nekaph. Blast screams on in. Very, very accurate one. We're going to have to use a liberal amount of slow-mo here. We're going to miss almost all of the fighting. So much carnage happening that we got a little bit of a stutter. Unfortunately, we've been having more of those in this episode than normal. What an incredible, incredible image. Not good for the lizards. Well, they're going to give us a volley. Where's that headed? See if we can keep up with these javelins. They do not move that quick. Charging on. They're all throwing them at Nekaph, who is doing his best to dodge none of them. Well done, Nekaph. Absorb those with your chest. That's the best way to block them. Temple Guard is back in the back being very useless. They look incredible. And I really want one of these halberds. This I want on my wall. Imagine someone breaking into your house and you're like, hang on now, let me get the Temple Guard mace, I'll be back. They leave. That's what happens. Even if they have a gun. Speeding things on up, the Necrosphinx is waiting on in. The Skink saw him coming and immediately broke and ran. For the most part, there is not going to be much fighting. But you gotta give it to them. The Javelin Skinks throw in. They fight it hard, and then they get slaughtered wholesale by Settra and his chariot team. Very similar to this, the trailer, just these aren't Dark Elves. A blinding explosion. I should have pulled on back. That is my fault, guys. But yeah, no, the chariots are riding down many of these lizards. It's going to be a blue and red battlefield soon. I guess it isn't quite over. We do have 2 units of Tomb Guard to deal with. Not Tomb Guard, these are Temple Guard. Lots of guard, as I said earlier in this episode. Doom Guard, or keep saying it, Temple Guard are very slow, so we're just going to have them be kited around by our skeleton archers. We're just going to keep plinking them with arrows, turning them into Saurus pincushions. Yeah, their main line is either shattered or running. It is time to charge on in and defeat this last force of Temple Guard here. And we will find out that they do handle a charge from even a good deal of cavalry very well. We were a bit overconfident here, and we expected, nah, we're just going to charge in and smush them. The Temple Guard stick in. They're no joke. Even from multiple groups of chariots, they handle it fine. You must give it to the Saurus. They are not weak. Firing some shots into the backs of those unprotected Temple Guard there. Unfortunately for these guys, they're going to keep chasing us around, but they're just not quite going to catch. Plus, for some reason, whatever here, they decided not to. Hang on now. That's not how my battle went. They didn't catch us. That was some nonsense. Necrosphinx doing good damage. I cannot wait to get it actually fighting a target it's meant to be, another large beastie. Perhaps Krotgar and Grimlock? We shall see. Methinks defeating Krotgar and Grimlock would defeat the last defenders pretty quickly and teach them a lesson or two. We don't plan on annihilating these armies of order. We're just here to teach them a very violent lesson. Settra's chariot looks awesome. We will ride them down. There will be no survivors here at the Golden Tower, but that is the battle gone to us. There will be just a few Saurus Temple Guard maybe escaping. They won't escape. That was a lie. Go get them, buddy. And the first contact with the last defenders ends in them in shambles. We lost 2. Don't worry to those who think we are going to annihilate the Lizardmen. We shall not. We'll just be smacking them on the bottom a few times so they learn the way. Although the Golden Tower and Settra and a few of these other settlements on the other side here do actually belong to us, so we shall be claiming these back. Oh wait, I should have sacked the settlement first. That was my mistake. Aborted that mission for no reason. So Golden Tower actually goes with Teotihuacan, so I didn't really need to claim this one. I can grab the Golden Tower of the Gods, though. An ancient tower clad in pure gold, constructed by the Lizardmen in an older, at the order of the old ones in an age long past. I'm happy to grab this. We will allow them to keep Teotihuacan, I believe. Serpent Coast, Temple of the Skulls. So these are all something that I can allow them to keep, and then we will move up and claim the Creator of the Walking Dead, since that is going to be Lamia, Labaris, Settra, and the Doomglade. So we can allow the Lizardmen to keep their jungles, but the Golden Tower and Teotihuacan, I believe, we will be claiming for us, since we don't want an incomplete province. Settra does not share. Alright, we'll come on in and then give Settra the magical reserves then. Prince Nebathar, finish off your devastating charge. Force a new threat way up in the north. Give him some more jars to hoard. Let's get to some more battles. That's what we've been lacking. Prince Afoot can actually come on in and weaken the garrison if he's is good enough at his job. Success. Well done, lad. We'll weaken them quite a bit. Alright. Bring in the Corsairs. No chariots. Just Corsairs. To give us a close victory. Yeah, there's not a lot of defenders beyond the wall. We never want to count the humble Saurus out of it, though. They are an absolute monstrous fighting force. We do have these short bows we can use, as well as javelins to try to bring their scaly hides down before they get too close. Let's have us another battle against Splachwa. The Vulture Lord of Zandri was once feared throughout the old world. He led vast armies across the Black Gulf to conquer from the borderlands to Telea in the name of his patron, Ualatp, the vulture god of scavengers. Also a fearsome admiral, his navy brought war to the pirates that plagued his shorelines, and many would flee at the sight of his mighty tomb ships on the horizon. He has never forgotten his defeat in battle by the Bretonnian admiral Henri Lemort at Savage Point, and has since vowed to reclaim his lost kingdom for the glory of Khemri. It is time we unleash Ualatp's forces upon Tlaqua. These lizardmen will learn eventually not to fight us. Starting things off in slow-mo, we've got the beautiful Vulture Legion. Look at this unit. They've got a cape, and that cape has fluff. They're the best. Hands down. Flaming arrows, sadly they don't have a lot of ammo, but I think we can probably increase that with different technologies and the like. This is just the far superior version of the deckhand mob with dual swords. This is what they wish they could be. They've also got fluffy capes, as fancy lads should. And then the Bronze Legion of Kasabar. Gonna be a little bit more heavily armored than other Tomb Guard. And they have those javelins, which I cannot wait to try out. I actually think Tomb Guard should probably have javelins to start, since they are, I mean, they're very heavily modeled off of the Roman Legion. So it's more of the, when Greece and Rome had taken over Egypt, as opposed to with the legions of Kapesh, as they would have before. Plenty of Soros waiting on us, but Ualatp's Chosen have the carrion flying over is very awesome. And we also have the Tomb Barks. We gotta take a look at all of our new units. Look at that, being held aloft by carrion. They have the worst job out of all of the carrion in our army. But they bear the burden. They've got all the archers up on top. An incredible unit. Looks incredible. Performs very well, too. Just a flying archer platform of death. It can also jump into combat and do work. So we've got the flaming arrows flying on in. Lizards do enjoy a bit of heat, so I don't think they're gonna shrug those arrows off a bit more than most. The plan to start, though, was going to be to have our Air Force hunt down and destroy the Lizardman's Air Force, because that's how the carrion work. They're hungry. Pterodons look like a good snack. They taste like chicken. We've got one last unit to take a look at here, is the Breaching Axes. Look at them. They even stand like sassy lads. They've all got the Noctilus sass pose. And they're going to flex on fools in a moment. We're going to send the Bronze Legion forward. They are going to stride confidently in. There are not many archers for the Lizardmen, and so we can kind of walk on up and just throw our javelins over the wall and harry them as much as we can. Same thing with the Tomb Barks. Going right over the walls, start blasting in at the rear. Things going normal. Amenemhetum is basically Noctilus in Tomb King form. Look at him. No one has a sassy strut like Noctilus and Settra. And we're going to have Amenemhetum go have a duel with Noctilus. Hopefully he does not have his Colossus by then, but he most likely will. It'd be cool to have a sword battle between Noctilus and Amenemhetum. Alright, Bronze Legion. Prepare the javelins. Loose! See how many lizard skulls we claim here. I love the VFX from the fire arrows. We're gonna have much more. Oh yeah, those javelins are gonna do work. Blocked it with his shield, but that's still gonna weigh that shield down. Even blocking it, it's going to nullify your shield completely or injure you. Oh, we got the javelin with the tracer. That's those special Spec Ops javelins. Yeah, they've got really good accuracy too. Doombark is taking some fire from the javelins. Looks like they're mostly missing. Yeah, no damage going in on them yet. Hard to hit when they're directly above you. And you still have to throw it at an angle. That doesn't really work all that well. Our Carrion have fully chased the enemy off the map. They did drop their bombs earlier, and I completely missed it, but you can take a look at the damage they did. They went from this much health to half. So the death from above bombs do good work. We've got the Fox Archer Legion, as well as the Vulture and Kasabar. Just all the projectiles. We're doing our best Kislev impression here. Vulture Legion these are quickly becoming, just in one battle, quickly becoming one of my favorite archers. They have very limited range, so I'll look to see how they perform against other skirmishers. And the Lizardmen have lots of skirmishers for us to try this out on. Toonbark has landed into combat, so we can see how that melee animations are. Oh, I guess I was already pulling him away. You have to use slow-mo more often. This battle is a bit hectic. 2 attack fronts make it hard to keep up with everything, but that is what it is. Javelins clinking on into the backs of these poor Saurus. That is not a good look. We will get through these gates at some point here. We wanted to keep the Tomb Corsairs back because it was giving us a indication that they would lose against the Saurus. So we didn't want them to try to climb up the stairs and take any vigor penalty. Unlike these Vulture Legion, who are going to try to get up on the walls and get some shots in on the flank. Those Javelins did good work. We've weakened them quite a bit and haven't even had to make it into combat yet. Toonbark is running out of ammo quite quickly, but I think it does so much damage with shots so that I'm not necessarily concerned. They managed to slaughter the Pterodon and are charging in for a beautiful rear charge on these Saurus, who are unsuspecting that they're about to have their backs ripped open. Descend the flock. And in lore, they do pick on mostly weakened or archer units. They chase after anyone who can't really fight back. They're not the most brave of beasts. Vulture Legion arrows, very accurate. That one curved around to hit this man in the back. That was some grade A work. Whoever that archer was is probably a magician, holding out on us. Many of our Legion have not gotten to fight yet. We can sit them on in soon. The Carrion slaughtering the Saurus. I also have a jet plane flying overhead, so I may have to pause if that gets a bit much. Love the singed look to the feathers. They also have quite a bit of a larger unit than the normal Carrion. They're a good, probably 2 times the size. And worry not. We'll be doing what we can to try to figure out what's going on with all the stuttering in this episode. It'd be really cool if these guys could fire while moving, and if they can, let me take a look. No. That would probably be a bit broken. The Bronze Legion engages, though. Ready to claim some lizard skulls. We didn't ask for this fight, but we will happily end it. But the breaching axe is taking the wall. Getting sliced right over the ledge. What a Chad. Rest in peace, Billy the Saurus. All the way to the bottom. What a move. Oh, and that one's got some singed neck bits going on. Oh yes, those breaching axes are slaughtering. We will move back over to where our forces have more or less mopped up the Saurus. We've already broken on in. The Vulture Legion got chased down, unfortunately, by the Saurus spears, but actually them being this far apart keeps the Saurus also very non-cohesive, which is how the pirates like to fight. Toonbark firing in over here still. You can't actually give it archer targets. It fires at whoever it wants. Yeah, Vulture Legion aren't going to perform that well in combat. And they're not really able to fire back, but Toonbark is landing in, causing some hate, releasing a storm of hate. Same thing with the flaming arrows. It almost have like a metallic effect when they hit things. They're nuts. Man, this is a unit that has some style. Look at him. These are the sassiest boys on the field. They will kill you and talk smack while doing it. jumping all over them. There's no escape. They're just gonna strut after you slowly. There's nothing more intimidating than that in a Dark Souls game when the boss doesn't do it. He doesn't run at you, they just slow walk. You know you're about to get bent. Yeah, we got the Kosovar Bronze Legion throwing those javelins in from the sides. There is nothing that can stand against them. Cannot wait to fight a little bit of a larger Lizardman force on the field of battle. Try out the Kosovar Legion a bit more. Many more battles ahead for Amenemhetum. Another brutal lesson for the children of the Old Ones. Lockwood ended up losing 1,046 to our 102. The Carrion feasted well this day. The only losses we took really came from the Flock of Joff. They have just such a low unit count. They're easy to drag down and get take a lot of damage all at once. So we slaughtered them without too much trouble here. Gained a Scroll of Leeching. We are going to also sack the settlement. We don't plan on claiming the jungles at all. We just want to damage them and make this fight not worth it for them. King Amenemhetum has gained his Sacred Funerary Mask. These priceless and irreplaceable artifacts of ancient Nekaph have sadly now been stolen en masse by thieves calling themselves adventurers, or perhaps even worse, archaeologists. Ooh, Indiana Jones, we're coming for thee. Lacking the incantations and proper sacraments, they make for paperweights and conversation pieces for the rich mobility of the Empire and beyond. But in the hands of ancient and powerful priest kings and lich priests, the raw power of these artifacts is terrible to behold. Gives him 10 extra armor, a discouraged effect, reducing leadership, I believe it's by 8, and then an additional 15 to his leadership effect, and 35 to the aura, and then he causes terror. Now he's on a horse, so he's going to zoom around and cause terror much more effectively.
Yes, Your Highness.
What other things are you going to have access to? The Claw of Ualatp, giving him summons of carrion, 3 of them, and then the hunger for carrion, making them vampires. Why not? And then we have the blade, the Kermsin Ualatp, the Fallen of the Vulture. That's a tough one. Too many pirates to count have fallen beneath the blade of this ancient relic. Renowned for its ocean-connected properties, this all-powerful halberd in the hands of a skilled priest king can be a force multiplier like no other. Channeling Ualatp's powers, it makes the vampire coast hate you even more. Channeling Ualatp's powers and those of the deep. That looks awesome. Regeneration while fighting at sea. Oh, we're gonna go burn the Maelstrom then. And then the Cloak of the Vulture Legion, increasing our Vulture Legion capability and our overall capacity for them. Capacity for Ualatp's Chosen. That's pretty amazing. Cannot wait to have all of your abilities there. Good stuff. For the skills for King Amenemhetum, we will give him... Love to get access to some of his deep spells. We'll grab Spiteful Shot and grab Kiss of the Deep just for anytime we're casting. We're doing damage to everyone on the map. A wee bit of damage, but it all counts. And then for Berect the Lich Priest, we will upgrade his Arcane Conduit. And then come back and grab Earthing next. It was a resounding victory. We may come on over and destroy the Deadhead Monoliths as well, but let's see if Tlaloc was willing for peace. Absolutely not. Alright, we're gonna have to defeat some of their armies then. Let's retreat back into friendly territory, and then we will see about luring some of their forces into a death trap. We gained a good deal of gold from that win. We will go ahead and upgrade Kosovar to a Necropolis, draining our gold pretty much totally. Grab a Grand Ossuary. Oh, and it's time for Nekaph. We'll have one final battle here against Skarbrand the Exiled. He is currently raiding. And he thinks he's going to get out of this alive. He does have Slaughter and Carnage, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. But Tsar willing, we shall defeat him. Skarbrand is willing to stick it and fight it, because of course he is. He's going to have the Scarecrow banner. So we want to keep our Kepra Swarm away from him at all costs. That will make them pretty much obliterate away into sand and nothingness. We'll want our Necrolith. This is a bonus via infantry. Not versus large. Fair enough. We'll want him waiting around in the swaths of Chosen then. I think Apophis needs to give himself some Achilles tendons. Let's get in there. We would have thought that reforming twice painfully would have been enough for him already, but no, he wishes to be crushed yet again. So this is going to be a deadly fight for us. No matter what, we need to be very, very careful and cautious. He's got lots of high mobility that are very heavy and can actually outduel or at least stick in and fight for quite a while with our chariots. They're not going to do much to each other. They'll just kind of have a tickle fight until Skarbrand goes over and starts killing, but that's how it's going to be. We need to try to keep as much of our armor-piercing anti-large around Skarbrand as we can, or at least avoid him while we annihilate his army. Either one will work. Let's get moving. So King Nekaph cannot fight Skarbrand. He's fine with jumping in on him from the rear when he's not paying attention, but that's not a fight anyone wants to take. The reason we're staying here with this Necrolith Colossus, because just look at this unit. Look at this Kapesh. This is uncalled for. It's the size of this obelisk over here. Anyone you hit with that is going to be dustified. Some good shots coming in, but those are pretty heavily armored chariots. They're going to have no problem shrugging off a good bit of damage before they feel it. Maybe we'd have to focus them down quite a bit in order to actually get anything going. Just kind of playing cat and mouse with their chariots, trying to feel out what's going on. I think we have very close speed. They have 78 speed to our 74. So we want to be a little bit cautious. They actually can outspeed us. Over on this side, my plan was, since we did have way more mobility than them, just charge in, crush these two Chaos Chariots as fast as we can. We do have our Prince Neferkare, as well as a good deal of chariots to help out. They have their own lads as well. They just don't move nearly as quick as us. And that first engagement didn't go so well. 3 chariots is better than 1. Even though they have less models, they're chunkier and a little bit more, they're more serious chariots. They have some armor-piercing damage to them. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking of the Gore Beast. Yeah, these guys are just bonus for his infantry. They do have a little bit of armor-piercing, but not all that much. Frenzy helps out quite a bit in combat. Plus, I mean, look at the new Chaos horses. I'm so glad that they changed these from the old ponies they had. I think the ones on the chariots were always the proper size, but the ones that were rideable were itty-bitty. Right around a miniature ponies. So he's got Apophis and his Kepra Swarm moving on in. He just wants a hug. And then after the hug, he's going to steal your heart. Although we know for a fact none of these hearts are going to be worth anything to Assyrian. They're corrupted and disgusting. But we will land the Kepra Swarm in and amongst just to try to bog them down while Apophis gets his swings in. Each swing doing, we're going to say, 1,000,000 damage, approximately. He is hitting almost as hard as Skarbrand with each swing. He is actually who we want to be fighting, Skarbrand. Him or this Colossus while we get some Sepulchral Stalkers in to attack him on the flanks. They're doing quite well against those chariots, clinking them down. We saw one hit from him obliterating them. Our chariots they're performing alright. The armor on these Chaos Chariots is going to perform very well for them. Once we have our Royal Guard chariots rolling around, we should be able to smash through armor with ease. Getting some good shots in on Skarbrand and actually doing more damage than one would have expected. Definitely using our mobility to our advantage. We have our infantry kind of moving over slowly. We've got them in marching so that they're not using up too much of their stamina there, while the rest of our forces just batter and smash around. Whatever, in the slow-mo, Nekaph has joined the fray with the Necropolis Knights. Again, anywhere that Skarbrand is not, we are going to bring the full might of our force. Chaos Chariots are not going to be enjoying a fight with armor-piercing halberds from the Necropolis Knights. That's going to perform very well. And their infantry really hasn't even arrived yet. And the ones that have are now being ripped apart by scarabs. Over with the exiled one, our Tomb Prince has unfortunately been caught by a cluster of chariots here himself and is unable to escape. Quickly, he's clipping through this one, and Skarbrand has joined the fray. See how much one single hit does. Oof, yeah, we cannot leave him in the fight, otherwise these big red glutes are going to kick the mess out of our... Or Tomb Prince there. We'll have to be raising up a new one. There won't be much left but dust. Just want our chariots to be moving around and causing damage. The second we can't escape, let this man escape, we're going to leave him in the fight with Skarbrand, and unfortunately his life is going to be used defending the kingdom. Outmaneuvering and destroying the group over here. Blood-red blades of Khorne approach. We definitely are not going to want to keep these Necro Serpents in the fight with all of that armor-piercing damage from those Exalted Bloodletters. They're going to be nasty. We're going to pull them away and get another charge in here in a moment. Our Colossus doing good work. And then Chariots doing what Chariots do best and scything down entire regiments of unit. Skarbrand has unfortunately already killed our Tomb Prince. He lasted all of 2 seconds in a fight. We did abandon him and bring the rest of our forces over to try to engage Skarbrand with our large force here if we're able to. He has got hate eyes for Nekaph. I can see it. Many demons being banished back to the Chaos Realm. Settra does not serve. You do. Head on back to Papa's realm. Here comes Skarbrand. He is on his way. We can see our Pepper Swarm back in the back, holding off some chariots. Skarbrand has himself a target over here with our main line. Oh, he's confused. He's not really sure what he wants to do. Too many good targets for him. So little time. He's legitimately got indecision. That's fine. Indecision assists the Sandstorm. We just aren't. We're all over the place. We've got them running around and they're not able to get a cohesive line anywhere. Charge the last of the horses in to just slow Skarbrand down for a moment, allow Nekaph to take down a couple of these Forsaken, and Afoot to find himself a big, gigantic red Achilles tendon. Takes one slice. We'll see how much damage we've already done. Skarbrand taken to the sky. You can't kill Apophis. He's killed you before. Trying to stay out large so we can see the health bar on Skarbrand. 3 units all at once. We're bringing the Necro Serpents in as well, the Colossus. Yeah, Skarbrand, you don't want any of this. Your life is forfeit, you big red booty. We're going to slow it down, but then the damage started coming in a little bit too slow. He's surrounded by anti-large armor piercing. There's nothing for him to do. Nothing to die but to die. Colossus and Skarbrand are having a one-on-one, even though it's not actually. You use this sword more often there, brother. That fist is not nearly as deadly. Back in the background, we can see Skarbrand's forces being hunted down. And Apophis does end up stealing his Achilles tendon. Back to Khorne's realm. I don't know how that works being exiled and all, but somehow he makes it work. And our dual weapon warriors fighting against some disgusting spawn. We've got waves of warriors coming in to assist with that one. Many will earn the title of Beast Slayer this day. Ouch. This can't feel good. Forced acupuncture. The last few spawn fall. The strength leaving their disgusted mutated forms. We're going to hunt down as many of Skarbrand's weak. Well, these Chosen are not weak. Look how awesome they are. I love how fast the Chaos Boys run when they're running away. They get some turbo speed. Either way, the victory is ours. Skarbrand again has been destroyed. And Skarbrand's mimicry host of Kimri has fallen. Only the Gorby's chariots barely remain. We did end up losing our Tomb Prince, but all in all, that was quite a competent battle. It's too hard to get them out when they're bogged down with that much weight. There were, I think, 2 or 3 chariots surrounding them, and Skarbrand kills him in 3 or 4 hits, so no good. And with the Usirian's Kepra Swarm, since they do rampage out, it's easy to get them bogged down and killed, unfortunately. So we will take the victory, though, and I think we will go ahead and grab Endless March. That is a good deal of gold. Release them only to hunt them back down again. Yes, Prince Nefikare was actually killed in battle, so he shall not be coming on back. But Nekaph has become a blood quencher, making his entire army stronger. We will pass out those skill points to him as well. I think we continue to make King Nekaph stronger. So we'll go for a bit more melee defense.
Tomb King of Nehekara.
Office can hoard some more jars. And then the prince in the other army here. Fairly gaining some skills. So we'll give him hard to hit. King Nekaph can continue to chase down Gorlarg. And we'll give that to auto-resolve. Finishing them off, we'll pass out the Scarecrow banner for no good reason. We lost 29, they lost all of theirs. And we shall immediately go ahead and pack them into jars. Their existence has been ended. Nekaph is now rolling himself around in a chariot, but that is not the way. Are we going to be able to move, change this one? Sweet. Back over to Skeletal Steed. And then we've got Feared Demon of the Deserts, Mastered of the Desert Tactics. I think we'll start off then, because we don't have... Well, it works for chariots too. That's awesome. Okay, we'll start off with Feared Demon of the Deserts for going to be a leadership reduction. And a bit more replenishment for us.
Your advice.
And then we'll want to... move on closer to Numas.
Stride to greatness.
Recruit back in. Ooh, we could get some javelin men. That is intriguing. Are the horsemen not in this area? They are not. Fair enough, I guess. Let's recruit in another group of Kepra Swarm, and then we lost Tomb Prince. We can just recruit in some more chariots in the meantime. We've got lots of archer chariots. Maybe we just grab some bows that can hold their own. It takes 2 turns to recruit them, though. Don't want to wait that long. Javelins will be good in an army, but not this one. 26 of them total. Yeah, we'll grab some more archer chariots. This prince is so close that we really don't need that. We'll remove him, and then you can jump in with Prince Nekaph. King Nekaph. Prince no longer. Maria is nice and safe. Oh, we're going to do some upgrading, but for now, we have conquered many lands, and it is time for Settra to take back to his advisor chamber. I hope you all enjoyed part 8 of our Settra campaign. Any advice, tactics, unit names, or otherwise, take to the comments and let's start a discussion. I'm out of time for today. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Remember to leave a like for the Light God and a sub for the Subthrone, and I will see you all in the next one.